Choices have consequences. I think that's something Adam and Eve saw that day that they fell into sin and they tasted the fruit that they shouldn't have. The consequences from their choices, they were immediate. In fact, the Bible tells us that their eyes were opened, and were they ever? The consequences that they felt were shame and guilt and fear, to name a few. But those weren't all of them. When God visited them in the garden, there were even more consequences. God kicked them out of the garden, the only home, the only place that they had ever known. And that's not even the greatest consequence. God told them, you're going to return to dust. One day, Adam, one day, Eve, you're going to die. I imagine from that day forward, it's in my opinion, that Adam and Eve, as they looked at the consequences of their choices in their own life, and they looked at the consequences of their choices in the world, that they would have liked to have gone back and done it all over again. They would have liked to hit the reset, the redo button, and stop it all. But you can't. How about you? Have you fallen into foolish things in your life where you've tasted the consequences of some terrible choices? Are there things that weigh on your soul that you'd like to go back and hit the reset and the redo button, but you can't? Are you struggling with guilt and fear and shame and the fallout of those decisions, and you'd just like to go back with Adam and Eve and start it all over again? Well, let's take a step away from us and our past, and let's take a look at the choice God made in time with Jesus. The Bible tells us that God made him, Jesus, who had no sin, none at all, did nothing ever wrong in his past. God made him to be sin for us. That's an amazing choice that has eternal consequences. Because now Jesus can tell us meaningfully in the Gospels, come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. He's talking about rest for your soul, rest from fear, rest from guilt, rest from hurt and sin, everything that separated you from God, all of those things you've done in your past. God forgives it all. Nothing is too small, nothing is too big. God covers everything in Jesus Christ. And as you're considering that amazing love from God and that wonderful forgiveness, let that motivate you in your future to say no, to step up when sin and wickedness rears its head, and to say what you need to say, and to do what you need to do, to make the right choice for Jesus' sake, because you know, just like Adam and Eve did, that choices have consequences. This has been a Shepherding Moment with Pastor Aaron Miller.